Welcome to Course 86, or Lesson 86 of Course 2 of Saxon Math. In this lesson, we're going to talk about numbers and the families they belong to. We're going to identify the counting numbers, whole numbers, integers, and rational numbers. We'll also tell how the counting numbers, whole numbers, integers, and rational numbers are related to each other and how they sometimes share common numbers. Okay, so let's start with our vocabulary. We've got a rational number. A rational number is all numbers that can be written as a ratio. So rational ratio of two integers. So for example, 15 over 16 is a rational number. 37 is a rational number because it can be written over 1. 37 over 1. Square root of 2 and pi are not rational numbers. You don't see them over 1. In this lesson, we're going to view each of the number families. So let's do a little bit of a review. We should all know what a counting number is. That is all of the whole positive numbers greater than 0 starting with 1. So it just goes on and on and on. And then whole numbers, we know, include 0. So a counting number does not include 0. Whole numbers have zeros. We know this. This is just a review. But you will notice that with the whole numbers, that they don't count the numbers in between. Those are not whole numbers. Those will be, you'll learn what those are as we go through this lesson. It's because, and there's also no negative numbers because whole numbers do not include the negative numbers. So numbers consecutive whole numbers, so the numbers that are between these consecutive whole numbers, are not whole numbers. The integers include, they take in all of the whole numbers, here are all of our whole numbers, plus all of our negative numbers now. So to think of an integer, just think of all of the counting numbers, all the whole numbers, for the positive and the negative numbers. But again, we're not counting in between. We're not counting the 1/2 and the 5/3. Those are not integers. Now a rational number, the family of rational numbers includes all of those numbers that can be written as a ratio. So the rational numbers are all of those numbers that fell between those whole numbers and the integers. So 1/2, 5/3, 0 over 2, 3 over 1, those are rational numbers. And notice that the family of rational numbers include all of the integers because every integer can be written as a fraction whose denominator is the number of 1. So -4 over 1, that's a rational number. And -4 is an integer. So they also include mixed numbers because mixed numbers can be converted into rational numbers where 4 1/5 becomes 21 over 5. So let's take a look at this in a graph to see how it looks. So if you take this graph, you start here in the middle. Our counting numbers are our smallest set. That's all the whole numbers, all the positive numbers, not the whole numbers, but the positive numbers starting with 1 and going forever to the positive side of the number line. Then the whole numbers, they take in 0 along with those positive numbers. And then all the integers include all of the counting numbers, all of the whole numbers, plus all of our negative numbers. And then rational numbers take in all of them, every single one of them, plus all the ones in between. And I'll give you a copy of this so that you've got it in your binders. Okay, so graph the integers that are less than 4. Pause this, make a number line, and see if you can do this. All right, so let's draw a number line. Not very straight, I apologize for that. Here's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, -1, -2, -3. All right, it says graph the integers that are less than 4. Well, I know the integers are the whole numbers. So I know I'm not going to count 4 because it says less than 4. I can't count anything smaller than that, so I'm just going to put a dot right here because I know integers are whole numbers. So I'm just going to put big dots on all of these whole numbers. Okay? So that's what it'd look like. Then you got your arrow out here saying that goes on forever in that direction. So you would not do this and draw your line because now you're taking in rational numbers and integers are not rational numbers. So that would be incorrect if you did the whole, that would be all numbers not equal to the number 4. And it didn't say all numbers, it said integers. It wanted just the integers. So make sure you don't make that mistake. So let's answer a couple of questions. Are all whole numbers integers, and are all rational numbers integers? Well, the first one, every whole number is included in the family of integers. So integers does include all whole numbers. But the second statement is false. All rational numbers are integers. That's not true. Because although integers is a rational number, it is not true that every rational number is an integer. So rational numbers such as 1/2 and 5/3, they're not integers. So but all integers are rational numbers. Because you remember that our rational numbers took in all of our integers when we looked at our graph. Remember that? All right, great. That's it. That's our lesson. Pretty simple. Do your TIDs 12, 17, 22AB, and 28A and B. Bring your questions to class tomorrow. And thank you for watching this, and we will see you tomorrow in class.